Long ago, the great salt water carried giant wooden birds with white wings. On the deck of the leading ship stood Meridian. He held a brass tube to his eye, watching the emerald coastline of a continent that breathed with 1,000 ancient rhythms. He saw not just land, but a puzzle waiting to be solved, a vastness that his superiors back home wished to name and claim. Back in the gray, rainy city of London, the air smelled of coal and ambition. Meridian sat at a heavy oak desk littered with half-finished charts. With a feathered pen and a steady hand, he began to draw lines across the blank spaces of the maps. He divided the forests from the plains, unaware that his ink was slicing through kingdoms, families, and stories that had existed since the dawn of time. When the ships finally anchored, the red-coated visitors met the people of the sun-drenched earth. Meridian stepped onto the sand and was greeted by Olumaid, a man whose ancestors had guarded these shores for generations. They stood under a wide sky, exchanging a glass-faced compass for a small, heavy nugget of gold. It was a meeting of two worlds, one carrying tools of measurement, the other carrying the weight of the soil. Far away in a grand hall with marble pillars, men who had never felt the African heat gathered around a table. Meridian stood beside Lord Stirling, who pointed at a giant map pinned to the wall. With colorful pins and sharp rulers, they carved the continent into pieces like a birthday cake. They spoke of spheres of influence and protectorates, making decisions for people they would never meet. The peace of the river was soon broken by the chugging of iron hearts. Meridian stood on the muddy bank as a massive steamship hissed and groaned, unloading crates of rifles and rolls of telegraph wire. The jungle air, once filled with the songs of weaver birds, now carried the scent of grease and the rhythmic thumping of machinery. The era of trade was shifting into an era of rule. Olumaid watched from the high ridges as the shadows of the new flag grew long. He saw the red coats marching in straight lines, their boots striking the earth like drums of war. He gathered his people, his heart heavy with the realization that the visitors did not just want to share the land, they wanted to own it. The rhythm of the drums changed, turning from a heartbeat into a call for resilience. The iron arrived next, long snakes of rail that bit into the red dust. Olumaid stood by the tracks, watching a young worker named Cato swing a heavy hammer. They shared a look of weary understanding. The tracks were moving deeper into the heart of the country,